So we're putting in our back wall. We're in 1-point perspective. Leave on your half sheet of cartridge paper, leave a chunk of empty space at the top and a bigger chunk on the bottom, and a whole lot over here on the right hand side. We're going to pierce the picture plane, or pierce the wall that we established, so that we can build into the wall. This time though, we have a 9-foot ceiling, so divide this measuring line into 3 equal parts. Your first guess is going to be wrong, so just make it light until you figure. See, this is how it works. If you don't start, you'll never know what's right or what's wrong. So, and the key to this now, since we're getting a little more complex with our sketches, is to keep everything light as long as you can until we've established what we want, and we can make everything a little darker. Now I'm dividing the 3 parts up into 3 more parts, and that'll give me 9 feet. The one on the bottom is 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're at 6 feet for our eye level this time, so let's go in and put our 6 feet in. And you can do phantom lines until you get the line that's just right. That prevents it from getting too dark as well. With 1-point perspective, we want to get the effect that the part of the wall that's furthest away from us appears smaller than the part that's closest to us. To do that, we need a vanishing point. So let's put that vanishing point over to the left. And we're going to need to project it through 9 foot, our 9-foot mark, and 0 in order to get the wall that we're looking for. So this is a long way to go, so just take your time and use your whole arm. And do that with 0 as well. And then once you've got it established, you can firm it up a little bit. Don't make anything too dark, though. Remember, we're trying to keep it a little light here. We're going to build into the wall itself. We want to go back 4 feet. So take a scrap of paper, measure 4 feet from the wall, from our measuring line. Because we're in 1-point perspective, we can transpose that sideways here. So now I'm going to turn it this way, and that'll give me 4 feet inside here. And I just join that up. So, because these are the same distance from me throughout their length, and so is the vertical line, the horizontals and the verticals are, I can just take a measure and turn it sideways, and I'll get what I want. Now we have more points to transfer, to project. So I've got a point here and a point here, so I'll project those. And what you're looking for is that phenomena, that the closer it gets to us, the wider it looks. We've got this established around there, as far down onto the floor as you feel safe to go. What we're looking for is these lines to meet. Oops, so that's too far. I can't go. See, that's out of my page, so I can't go that far. I want to stop where I can actually see the perspective line and my horizontal line. I want to see where they meet. So I can't go that far. Now I've got to transport that up. So you see the big box that's formed. This is my front plane. And this is now facing the same direction as the wall, the back wall. It's facing me squarely. Now we are freehanding it, so we're going to get some abnormalities here, but you just kind of tickle it in place. I like that better than the other. Okay, so this is the wall extended. This is the underside of the wall, or the ceiling. That's the ceiling up there. We extended the ceiling. This is the side wall, the right-hand side wall, but we pushed it back. So now we have more space. And we're going to build our wave fireplace right inside there. We're going to start our wave right about here. Not in the corner, but a little breathing space. We want it to be 4 feet high. So let's bring 4 feet across. We have 4 feet. Let's bring it across the front. Where that horizontal line crosses the perspective line, we bring that up to 4 feet. So that's pretty high. It's 4 feet. And we bring this up. But you see, we don't have a perspective line for that one to go to. So we have to bring 4 feet across. Now we can start projecting the 4 feet forward to the point we need it at. I still, though, for me, it's the verticals that hold the key to everything. If I don't have them up on time, I get very confused. So it's important to do that. We've got a box here. And we got that because we brought 4 feet over to this corner. We have a new corner to our room. This was the old corner. Now we have a new corner. And we brought that up. We want to come forward on the top, just about like that. So I have to extend my perspective line. And I want to come forward. But I only want to come forward, and the thickness is going to be 1/2 foot. So go back now to 3.5 feet and bring this across. And it should appear to be getting larger as it gets closer to us. And then we can make another box on the front. Where this crosses that perspective line, we can make another box. So now we've got a box sitting on top that's 4 feet high, because we brought the 4 feet over, and 1/2 foot deep, thick. And then we brought, with a vertical that crossed the perspective lines, we went the other way. And this stopped us. This perspective line stopped us. When these two crossed, it stopped us from going any further. So we chose this arbitrarily, this distance. We just took whatever we wanted. And then we got this box. So this is just any old box. You can see that. It's nothing special about it, just any old box. Now, we're going to come down to, I think we'll come down to 2 feet. So we're going to leave 1.5 feet, and we're going to go down 2 feet to 2 feet. 2 feet off the floor. And we're going to bring that across. And we're going to bring it down to 1.5 feet. And we'll bring this down. So you see, there's the same box. It's forming down below. So now we've got another box. And we want to bring that forward. So we want to bring that forward quite a lot. So let's go through that box and bring it all the way out to the end. And you should be seeing that this height here is quite a bit more than back there where it started. Now we've brought this forward, and it's meeting this big line that we made right at the start. So now we've got a bench, this bench. And it's nothing but a big old box, just like all the others, just a big old box. So we've got a big slab here, and it's 1/2 foot thick, so we're going to make it 1/2 foot thick down here. And it's 1.5 feet off the floor. Now, let's make this 1/2 foot too. We can just guess at that. So you see what we've been doing. We've been estimating how far forward we come based on our height. So once you know the height, you're able to estimate some of the rest. And I'm going to bring that over for thickness. So there's my, and here's the bottom. And this is where the wave comes in. This is wood, and it's rounded like this. So it becomes a wave. It comes down and goes around. And then when we get out here, we make a wave. We go like this. So it's a beautiful wood, beautiful. And it comes like this. So we've got something that comes up like this, goes back, and then it goes up like this. It goes round and round and creates a wave shape like this. And this portion can be used as a bench. In the one that I saw, there were pale pieces of pine. I think they were using it as a place to set things. Maybe if you're entertaining, you have drink trays or something to set here. But I think it could also serve as bench seating in an emergency or in a party, which could be an emergency for some. Okay. And the best part of it all is that the fire sits inside here. So how we make that now is to make a cylinder. Once you have your wave, we make a cylinder. And the cylinder has to sit in here. Now let's freehand this. We have to have a little space on either side. And you remember, you make it a little more shallow at the back and more full at the front. So now we have our width. We're going to bring our width up to the ceiling. Because this goes right up into the ceiling. And we'll make another ellipse up here, leaving space on either side. Now this time the ellipse rolls over. It rolls like that. So we've got our vent that comes down. This is stainless steel. And you can see a little bit of it down here. So we should just put a little curve here. And it's also support on the floor. So it comes down like this. You see all the geometric shapes we're finding? And it sits within here. So that cylinder runs. And it has to sit within here as well, doesn't it? So, but what's really beautiful here is the bowl. There's a bowl with the fire in it that's made of stone. And it sits right here. Now we're freehanding because we're sketching, and the fire weaves its way up. This would be great as glass as well, because then you could see more of the fire, I think. But there's stones in the bowl, and we should check out the scale of this with one of our sketch people. And let's use a man. We'll put the top of his head at 6 feet. That's how we're going to size our male figures here, our sketch figures. And remember how they go. They have carrots for legs. And don't put their pants too high. They look goofy. And we'll see. Doesn't matter where his feet fall. Remember, if you get his head in the right place, his feet will fall anywhere, and that's okay. And this, I guess mine is a kind of combination between the square head, floaty head people and the other people. But that he'll do his job for us. He's doing his job. He seems to be jiving with this. He doesn't seem to mind. So now my wall is here now. My corner of my room is there. See how that looks? How the space and distance is so exciting now? Because it's not... And I'm putting everything in with a thick line, and you know that's not the way to do it. But just so that we can see what we're doing. This, you see, would be part of that overlay process. Here I'm just confirming the lines I want to keep, and I'm making everything the same weight. But when I transferred it to the marker paper over top, like you'll be doing today, I would differentiate between thick lines and thick outer lines and thinner inside lines. Because there just gets to a point where there are just too many lines and you can't make sense of what you're doing. You could at any time put tracing paper over top and start over marker paper and start doing an overlay during the drawing and pick up what you want to keep and leave out what you don't want to keep. And there it would be. That would be our, and there are rocks in there and stones in there, and that's our new corner of our room and our lovely piece. Oh, and our man, we should give our man some assistance here because he's assisting us.